let's see. Let's zoom in a little because yikes. Okay, hello. I'm super excited because I finally got that lip liner we were talking about. Was it last week? So I'm gonna wait for some people to get on because I'm trying to, I didn't take a before picture. I might have to do like a screenshot or something. Forgot my before picture. Let's see if I can quickly do that. It is what it is. Okay, so I've got a buy one, get one. Hello, Lisa. And I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but good morning. Got my plaid cups out. What are these plaids called? I can't remember. Stuart plaid. Who knew? But when you get here, say hi. I got these lip liners that were popping up on my feed, and they're by Kiva. It was a buy one, get one. Pretty decent deal. They are a clear, invisible, extreme plumping lip liner. So I'll probably take a picture tomorrow too, so I have a picture of it. But I'm very curious. Good morning, Alice. Hello, good morning. Okay, yay, all my people are coming. Okay, where did you buy them again? I bought them from Kiva, Kiva. And it was a buy one, get one deal. I don't think it was that expensive. Because of that, I think it was like 20-something for two. That's a decent price, I think. I wouldn't pay that price for one, and I think that's the only reason why I got it was a two-for deal. Anyways, we're gonna give it a try. It's supposed to be clear, and I heard it's going to burn. So I thought I'll put it on. We'll take a look, and I'll post results tomorrow on my YouTube feed so you can see with makeup. So I'll put my makeup on and then I'll line them and then I don't know. Or maybe I'll make a short about it and post it that way. I'm a little nervous. I don't like burn. I like subtle sting. I heard this is gonna be like, woo! So this could be interesting, but I thought, you know what? What's more fun than a first impression? Hello, Pam. What is more fun than a first impression? So we're gonna give it a try, and we'll do my eye makeup. And by the time my eye makeup's done, this should be ready. So take a good look. Take a good look. I don't have my room. You guys, look at this mess. Because of Christmas. This is the storage room for Christmas. Okay, I don't know what kind of eye makeup we want to do. If anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Yeah, so we're gonna put this on and we'll see. I have brown eyes. I don't feel like my eye color is that nice. It is nice once I get my makeup on. I am gonna do something with hot chocolate. No, I keep saying it's hot chocolate and it's not, and I just have been absolutely loving Angel's Landing. We're gonna do something with this. This is one of those colors. I feel like if you're wanting to order yourself something for your stocking, you have until the 12th. What is today? It's not the 8th. For sure it's not the 8th. Is it? So you have till Friday. Oh my gosh, I felt like it was later. I thought this was the 10th or something. Okay. But if you're looking to add something pizzazzy for your stocking for Christmas or to give someone, this color is so pretty. And so I want to do something with it because it's just such a good color. All right, and it magnetizes into a palette. You get a palette, come up with a little combination. I don't know what eye color I want to do today. I have my computer with me today in case anybody has questions about things that are still available, but let's see. We got a decent amount of people here. I don't want to wait too long, but we're gonna put this on. So here it is. It's by Kiva. This was something that just popped up on my Facebook feed, and then it just, because I watched the whole thing through probably twice, it keeps popping up. And I get so fed up with filters and seeing people that it's just killing me here. So I thought I'll order it. I'm gonna try it. And then last week we were talking about it. So let's give it a whirl, all right? It's apparently gonna burn. All right, so it's got a yellow, let's twist up. This doesn't look clear. It's got a nude to me. I hate when people call things nude, beige, light beige. Um, what are my opinions of the Advent colors this year? I went through it with these and I love them. I do love them. I feel like last year, let's line my lips really quick and then we'll talk about this because I don't know. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. We're going to get a little mirror out. These I wish Saint would come back with. It's like this tiny little mirror and it has a regular mirror and then has a magnifier in it. All right. Reveal plus. Should I do half my lip and see what happens? I mean, are we going to really remember what my lips did look like? Do we do half? And then I gotta like burn twice? What do I do? Tell me what to do. I'm gonna talk about the Advent while you guys tell me if I should do a half a lip or a whole lip. All right, there's enough people here. Not really, but there's enough, okay? So tell me what to do, half lip, whole lip. Okay, so here's the Advent colors. I do really like them. It was told to us that these 4 colors were curated to go together and that these 4 colors were curated to go together and these 4 colors were curated to go together. And I personally call BS. I don't believe that at all. I also feel they need another hand in the cookie jar for product release, especially holiday product release, because I think if you're going to have somebody who, like, I do makeup, I like makeup, I like playing with colors, I like, my makeup looks like makeup, okay? I like my everyday makeup, but I think if you're somebody who's curating collections, if you're in charge of products for a makeup company, you should be a makeup person. I love who they have, they're just not, they're a no makeup person, which means they don't use eyeshadows. And if they do, they only apply with their finger. I think you need a counterpart if that's who you are. I'm not yucking a yum. I just think if you're going to release something like this and you're going to consider this a collection, but you're not a makeup person, you really didn't consider the collection. That's my opinion. I love these colors individually. I just don't believe that this is a collection and this is a collection and this is a collection. I love these colors. I think they hit last year's colors are right here along with 4 others. So this, look at that. That was last year's color and these colors. So it was a collection of a lot of colors, okay? And these are pretty bold colors that a lot of people were like, no way, I'm not doing that. I don't wear crazy colors. Those are too scary, blah, blah, blah. They listened and they came out with a more neutral, anybody could wear these colors palette. I know this one looks scary, but it actually goes on really well. And but then they came out with these 2 colors that a lot of people didn't understand. And I think this falls into the category of you need a counterpart, because somebody who wears makeup like I wear makeup and a lot of my customers wear makeup, we use eyeshadow brushes. And so 2 of the colors, which is Chantilly Lace and this purple mauve, beautiful color, Ruffle. These go on with the finger, but if you aren't a makeup brush user, you didn't know that these are not traditional eyeshadows. And I'm just kind of spilling the beans here. These are a putty powder. So with a brush, they don't pick up. You have to have the brush wet with either setting spray or water for them to pick up. Otherwise, you have to do it with your finger. Now, this is a color I would never just apply with my finger. So for me, I don't think that when they picked these 2 colors, they picked them off of a swatch, but not off of what the product was. And so it kind of created a little bit of behind the scenes turmoil. They are beautiful colors, and I'm glad we figured it out when we figured it out, but they got inundated with messages about it. And so I love the colors. I just wish there was a counterpart makeup person with it, because I think this is great. I do really like it. These colors are really pretty. I think my favorite color is Ribbon, which is this color right here. and I've been loving it so much. It makes your makeup look glossy without glossy, okay? So look at how pretty that is. It's a pretty illuminator. It's pretty on your lips. It's beautiful on your eyes. It's great for holidays. And I don't mean just like, when I say holidays, I don't just mean Christmas and New Year's. I mean like Valentine's Day and Easter and like the holidays, all of them. And I think it would be really pretty for weddings, at weddings, as a guest, as a bride. It's so pretty. And I think this color is also absolutely stunning. Now, when I swatch them, they look like this, but then I always tell people those colors are also really nice and light colors. So if you like those warm orange tones, I just think this does check a lot of boxes this gives you a realistic variety. So yeah, no, I cannot stand up. I'm sitting because I'm doing my makeup. Okay. I want to know, I got one. It's one of each. What do we do? Just look, okay? Hopefully we'll be able to tell. I don't want to do half. I'm scared to do half. I just want to knock it out. So we're going to do the whole thing. So I'm going to outline, because it's clear, around my lip. That's what I saw everybody doing. They weren't doing it directly on the lip like a traditional lip liner. It was around the lip. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see if this actually shows color. And oh boy, here we go. Oh, those chins. Okay. We're going. Oh, I feel like you can see it. You can totally see it. So calling it clear. Don't know about that. I just outer lined because I should have swatched it on my arm. This is supposed to burn. I'm not feeling anything. I'm going to get it on and off. And then here. Okay. Clear? No. Burning so far? No. And the way everybody made it sound, now I'm outside my lips. This is where I traditionally lip line. I do like to pop off down here. This looks weird. But when don't I put something on that looks weird? No burning so far. So we're going to stop. We're going to see if this does it. This looks wild. I don't feel anything right now. I'm going to buff it. I'm going to buff it down. We're going to do our eyes with me looking weird, but it's definitely not invisible. Invisible? No. Burning? No. I'm going to add some more because I feel like I buffed it off my bottom lip. But I've never found something that's plumping. Okay. Are these the pencils I was talking about last week? Yes, it is. I went actually to the post office after I dropped my kids off at school because I saw these got delivered Saturday. And so I went and I got them this morning. So these are the pencils from last week. No burning. No burning. No plumping. Now, everything I've seen that plumps just burns. I've never noticed. I mean, I got this one lip gloss. What was it by? I'm going to look it up and then we're going to get started on makeup. I know it was at Ulta. And it was this lip stinging stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's see. What was it again? Polite Society. That stuff hurt. I'm not getting any burning right now. I'm not getting any burning at all. I'm not feeling any, nothing's happening. Okay, so let's do our eyes while I look like this. If it was gonna burn, it'd be burning by now. I'm gonna call this product Bull. I was pretty excited for it too. So we're just gonna prep our eyes. Polite Society burns. I just feel like it makes your lips go like this because they hurt, but they don't necessarily actually plump. Okay, so prepping the eyes, and I've been watching a show called The Morning Show. It's this one with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. And their eyeshadow has been really pretty, and I feel like it's an Angel's Landing combo, but I also feel like it's a really good combo for maturing eyes, and it gets you into that old classic, but anew. Nothing's burning. I want to see if it says it's supposed to burn on the box. Intense. My butt. No. There's nothing burning about this. Okay. It says this invisible liner, I can barely read this, instantly creates plump lips with full voluminous feel. No. My lips are so chapped. Delivers extreme plumping effects that last up to 8 hours. Let you freely define lip lines, boost shine, create matte finish, and add a gloss for sparkle. I'm not getting any of that. No burning, no plumping. I mean, they still look like my dad's lips. Okay, so I kind of wanted to do something similar to what I was seeing on this show because it was fun, and I do like to recreate looks, and I noticed they kind of wore the same colors. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Pup, which is a color I obviously like, and this is going to be a good base. So this is a brown tone, which I think is everybody's comfort zone. And this lip liner disappoints. All right. I'm going to call it and say it's not going to work. I want to wipe it off, but I'm just going to let it sit. Nothing. Like, I feel nothing. Okay. I hate being let down. We're going to go into the color to start. So powder blends best on powders. And I am going to go into Drift. I'm going to pop that one up here. I like a nice champagne shimmer. I'm trying to see if there was a champagne shimmer I really liked in this Advent. The Advent I love, 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 love. And they'll probably come out with it like they did before this last year, where it's like colors every few months. They said they weren't going to do that with the Advent last year, and then they did. Okay, going in with an eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go look at, I don't know, my tastes change so much. What's this color? Cowboy. A lot of people liked Cowboy. I like Santa Fe more. A lot of people really loved Cowboy. We're going to use this as our transition shade. You can hear my poor dog. He doesn't like wind. We have a wind. We have our winter weather going. But this is a really nice neutral, I would call it a mushroom brown. And this is going to be our transition shade. I personally like warm and cool, but for the look I'm going for today, I think this is a really good work look, and I like things that are realistic. Find your placement you like. Go on Pinterest, go on the internet, Google, and look up, and oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're going to release the shades in that color. Yes. I personally would love to see more fun come out. I would like for them to change it up a bit. They've done that twice now. They did once a month, and then they did collections. Anyways, yeah. All right. So we're just going to do our makeup in an everyday way, which is my favorite. And I'm really disappointed in the lip liner. And now I'm going to go into my favorite, which is Oak. This is a great eyebrow color. This is a great everyday eyeshadow. I like when things do more than one thing. We're going to take that fluffy end, and I am going to put this all over my lid to start, and then we're going to bring it up and out and kind of morph it into that cowboy color. I like having, I don't know if this dates me or not. I think to modernize an old classic, you bring it all over the lid. All right, so we're just putting this all over the lid, and I think having the fluffy end doesn't make it so punchy. And then we're gonna go up and out. Okay. Let's see. We're just gonna keep going here. And then we're gonna use Angel's Landing to the lid. Because it was pretty. Okay. Easy peasy. And I think with everything, hair, eye makeup, when the rest of the face comes on, all this is gonna pull together. This lip liner is just such a disappointment. All right, so I'm putting Oak underneath, and now we're gonna go into that Angel's Landing, which I think is so pretty because we can punch it up at the end of the day with just a little bit of balm. But anytime you're applying shimmer, if you want it to show, use your finger. If you want just a light dusting, like for your brow bone, use a brush. And then I'm just gonna put this all over the lid. I want more. So we're just gonna put this on, and it makes it pretty. And then we're gonna use some black to add a little more extra kick and definition. Because I don't know, my brown eyes, when I add a lot of black, it lightens my eyes and it makes me like my brown eyes more. I've always wanted blue eyes. Those darn people that have those piercing blue eyes, oh, I've always wanted. But this hair, don't come to me for hair tips, that's for sure. Okay. But I want my hair to grow, so I'm having to keep it natural because I want my hair to grow. All right, I'm gonna take the Saint pencil because this does not smudge. You put it on, you let it set, and it'll go. All right, so we're gonna put this on, we're gonna pull a few weeds, and there we go. All right, popping this on, and we're just going to look down, push up, and then we're just gonna wash it across that water line. Super simple. Makes you look like a crazy person while you're doing it, but it's worth it. Okay. And then out on the sides here, bang, bang, boom. I'm gonna take an etch brush and we're gonna smoke this out a bit. Where's my etch brush? Throw it over here. How do I do this almost every time? There it is. Okay, taking that etch brush on this shorter end, and then you can just buff this black out first, because it's gonna set. So you gotta move quickly to just buff this out on the outside, and then you're gonna bring some down that you've picked up on the brush and just smoke a little bit out on the lash line here. And this is gonna give you the illusion of fuller lashes. A lot of people don't think eyeliner does that, but that's true. Okay. Yeah, so jealous of blue eyes. None of my kids did. My dog is absolutely not having this win. All right, over here, just trying to get this black smoked out before it sets. Because once it sets, you really need a good makeup melt to get it going. All right. Gonna go in with some black eyeshadow. And I'm gonna wet my brush. I like this method a lot. Okay, where's a setting spray that I want? My desk is a disaster from all the new products coming out. All right, so wet my brush with some setting spray. I like using a hydrating setting spray when I'm doing this, not something that seals. Not a single thing is burning on my lips, and my lips don't look any bigger. It's a bunch of malarkey. Ugh. Okay, so we're gonna take that wet black, and we're just going to deepen on this outer part. I don't put this in the middle of my eyes because it's gonna make my eyes look smaller, but adding black on the outer part of your lashes here is going to make them look fuller, especially once we add mascara. And then a little bit more on that lash line. A little bit more. Makes it nice and moody. And during the holidays, I don't know about you, but I've been so moody. Somebody asked me if I was like the Griswold of Garland. My house is littered. It's been on Instagram. I've been putting it on Instagram. If you're not a part of the Instagram, I have been putting it on there. I need to put my final, but I need 2 more wreaths. Okay, going in with some mascara. I don't curl my lashes. I just like a good volumizing mascara. I really like FanFest by Benefit. This one is my absolute favorite. Saint has a really good combo. I just don't like buying 2 mascaras to do what one can do. But you can go ahead and get the Lash Velvet for volumizing. It can have fallout and transfer, so you take Lash Leather, which is a tubing, and you seal it when it's done. I like that one can do both. There's not a lot of transfer with this one, but it's really about building volume at the base. I need a mirror. And so you're gonna wiggle this into the root area and then lift. And wiggle, 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 lift. You want to get those lashes into those bristles so that wiggle gets them in there, and then lift. And this is just building up product at the base to give you that look of fuller lashes, and it's just because you're coating them with mascara, and it's just making them look bigger than they are. All right, so just wiggle, 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 and then lift so it doesn't clump on top of each other and make little tarantula legs on your lashes. So wiggle, 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 wiggle. Once it starts getting tacky, you stop. But that's what gives you that full line. Okay, so water lining helps give that look of the eyeliner continuing to the middle without closing off your eye. And then you can go and build onto the tips where you lift and then you comb down and out, down and out. And I do a little bit of a curl and then lift it back up by just smoothing from base to tip. And that gives you a nice full natural lash. All right, and then you can go down here and you can just add a little bit to the tips. Don't really worry about adding volume to lower lashes because it just ends up making your eyes look more mature than they are because of too much darkness under your eye. All right, so wiggle, 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 lift, wiggle, 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 lift. I have been trying the Beauty Society lash lengthener. Actually, I've been using it twice a day. And so far I'm noticing more length. I'm not sure about volume. I think that's going to take a while. But before that I was using Babe Lash and I always got really great results with the Babe Lash. So it's whatever you want. I just think I've never found one lash serum to be superior to all. I find them all to be pretty same. So for me, I look at price point more because I haven't found one that's the end all be all. I really like Babe Lash and I think they have a good price point and they do a lot of sales. I don't think Beauty Society does a lot of sales. I like Beauty Society. It's a skincare that I use and I absolutely love it. I'm going to use the under eye cream now. My biggest thing is I like when a company, Saint included, which is what I'm going to dive into next, they do a holiday release and they release a whole bunch of products. They're available until the end of the year. That's what I like. I don't want something that releases one thing every few days because I want everybody to be able to buy everything at one time and not be like, oh, because I feel like the shipping, nobody wants to keep paying for shipping, and I'm pretty sure you always pay for shipping with Beauty Society, so I don't like that they don't just release it all. So they did a lip collection, which was great. I had 2 lip oils, 2 lip plumpers, but it was only available for one day. But then a couple days later, they released an advent calendar. I was like, why couldn't they just release their advent calendar? I mean, people would buy all of it if it was in one shot. It's just my thing. And then they don't give us heads ups. They don't give us enough. They give us an opportunity to buy early, but not early enough to receive it and show it. And I want to be able to receive it and show it. So I have a little bit of a struggle bus right now with my Beauty Society. I know I'm on borrowed time with it because I love the skincare. I'm just not sure about the way that they release things and the way they notify us. They don't tell us until it's like, I don't find out about today's sales until today. Whereas Saint, they give it to us and they're like, here it is for you. This is when you can talk about it. This is when you can buy it. And this is when it's for customers. And I like that. I don't know. You can't have it all, I guess, right? Okay. I'm calling this garbage. Like not a lick of burn and not a lick of plump. They look the same. They look the same. I'm even taking this off because it didn't work. All right, we're gonna go in and we're gonna do our eye, our face. I'm gonna use All Saint. It's my favorite makeup. I like the Beauty Society foundation. It is really good, but I like having everything. I like it affordable. I like it all in one place. Like that's my biggest thing with Saint. So let's put on a little bit of primer. Milk Hydro Grip. I like it a lot. I have oily skin, and a lot of people think with oily skin you can't wear creams. That's not true. There's just different steps you have to take for it, and that's just comes with like the setting of it and the amount you put on. I've got a lot of stuff to cover, and I like my stuff covered, and I just don't want to make the trade-off of coverage for texture. And so Saint is able to give me my cake to eat it too. I can have it all. All right, so this is Saint. It's highly pigmented cream makeup. And all the palettes are all different sizes. You can pick and choose what size you want to get for your makeup. You can pair this with any makeup. So if you like your liquid foundation, but you feel like you're too matte, it might be that you're using maybe a powder contour, powder bronzer. So maybe switching your contours and bronzers to creams will help give you that life. So this can be used with anything. And I like that about it. All right, so for me, I like correctors. Last week, I talked about just collections because they were on sale, which they don't put those on sale except for once a year usually, and it's at Christmas time. On sale, I did the very basics. It's a palette 8. This is my favorite size because you can put your favorites in there and then you still have room to add eyeshadows or whatever you want. But I like my correctors. Do I need them? Probably not. Having them, absolutely, and it's because of the density. I want my makeup to last all day. I want to know that when I cover my hyperpigmentation, when I cover my scars, I want to know that this little area right here isn't going to pull through at 2 o'clock. I want to know I'm busy. I mean, I don't work, but I'm busy, and I want to know that at the end of the day, after I've been doing all the things that I do, I hate listing what I do. Don't ever ask mom, wife, what she does all day. Everything that makes your life work, times it by how many people are in the house, and that's what she does. She makes those things when you go open a cupboard and something's there that you wanted. She did that. So we do that. But then I go in and I'm a swim coach, and I want to know that once I'm doing all the things and I'm rushing out of the house, getting all the kids, getting them to the pool, getting things ready for the swim practice to start, I want to know that this isn't showing through, because you know what? Middle schoolers are tough. Okay. All right. So I want to know that when I use correctors aren't just helping to hide things. I'm not making that trade-off. The more makeup you put on, the more texture is going to show. That's just how it works. It's makeup, not magic. And that's that. Okay. You shouldn't look like a cake. So with Saint makeup, it's 80% pigmentation, which means you get a lot of coverage with not a lot of makeup. Okay, so we're going to use these two colors here. This right here is Aspen, and it's gray. It's a contour, and it's dense. And so I can put on a really light amount, and I'm not going to turn my skin gray. My thought process on this was gray will dull it. And that's all I want to do with my scars is I want to dull the color. So I'm still going to see it, but the red isn't going to be doing that. Okay, I'm going to take this brush. I'm oily. Okay, so you can get this brush, which is a shape brush, and I'm looking for a palette that I just had. It's right here. My lips are so chapped. Setting powder. I use the blotting dust because it has that sheen to it. You can get it in a collection, not the palette, but the tin. So you get one of these tins with this brush, and it saves you money. Great stocking stuffer, okay? Can I add? If you want, like I'm getting this for my son's girlfriend because it's a great little brush. It's a great little collection. You can use this with any makeup at all. Anyways, I can give her setting powder. I can give her eyeshadows all in one little thing, and it'll be a great little gift-a-rooney, okay? Anyways, just fix some fallout. We're going to take this brush and use it as a correcting brush. It's my favorite correcting brush. I've always liked the shape brush, or not the shape brush, the blend brush, and I typically recommend that because this little side is smaller than this brush, but if you can get it in a collection with powder and you need powder, then this is the brush. All right, so we're going to go into that Aspen, and I'm just swirling this in. It's not super clumpy, and I'm going to take this over my red. Okay, so I have pores, and I don't want to accentuate them, but a dense color like Aspen is going to help hide them. I'm not going to turn gray. I'm just going to dull this, so just pay attention. we're using a super light hand, and I'm just sweeping, you see? Just gonna sweep it. You see? You still see the problem? My skin isn't gray, but the color is dulled. I'm just going in and getting that red, broken capillary, red nose area above my brows, and this just dulls it, okay? That's it. Your makeup should be that easy, okay? Creams are different, but it should be that easy. It should be. Somebody asked me the other day on here if I recommend Aspen for everyone. No. It really depends on the redness. So rosacea, that can be either a vibrant red or a medium red like what I have, or it has that deep purple, that purpley red. And if you have that purpley red, Aspen's not gonna work. I'll recommend something else. And what that depends on is your skin tone, because I can recommend June, which has a green undertone, which would work for my skin tone, but if you're darker than me, like a lot darker than me, it wouldn't work. So it really just depends on your skin tone, which is why color matches are so important. But to me, a lot of people have these scarring issues, and this goes with wherever the redness is without compromising your makeup. But my skin still has my skin texture. Because of that high pigment, I'm able to get my color corrected. You can still see it, but I'm not making a trade-off of having a thick makeup on top of it. You can't even tell I put anything on it. I don't use filters. Ooh, Scotland. That's cool. Hi. That's on my bucket list. I like a makeup that works with changing skin. And with changing skin, you just want a makeup that has movability. That's it, okay? Now I'm gonna go into the next color down, which is Walnut. It is also a contour, and this is gonna help with my hyperpigmentation. So instead of covering the spot, I'm gonna hide it. You know, like when you go hunting and you put camo to blend into the bushes, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blend this in to the bushes. So we're gonna turn the bushes a similar tone. I have it growing up this way, so I bring it up and around, and this is just gonna help hide it a little bit. You can still see it a bit. Correcting is like muting the sound on the TV. You can still see your show, but there's no sound, and sound is that coloring, okay? So we're gonna take a little more. We're gonna do the same thing here. It's not as bad, but I do have discoloration in this area here. I used to get horrible cystic acne. Horrible. I mean, and that's what all this scarring is. And it was in my 20s, not in my teens. In my teens, I used to get it on my chin in this one spot. But then in my 20s, it was my cheeks. And I realized it was because, one, I was working and I was touching mail. Mail is so dirty. And that's when I learned how much of a face toucher I am. And I had to break that habit super quick. So mail is dirty and it was creating cystic acne because I was a face toucher. Understanding that you're a face toucher is huge because it helps with longevity of your makeup. It helps with skincare, all the things. So it's not just about getting a hand sanitizer if you're somebody who touches a lot of mail. It's about going washing your hands in the water with some soap, okay? Sanitizer only goes so far. But knowing if you're a face toucher is huge, because if you're using a makeup that's a stay all day that you love so much, but you notice at the end of the day your nose or your chin has that chipped paint look where it's raw, no makeup, but around it it's like chipped paint, it's because you're a face toucher. It's really not bad makeup. You're just a face toucher, and it's makeup, not magic. I like creams because if you're a face toucher, it may wear, but it's not gonna wear like chipped paint. So it has an easy blend, and you can reset creams with just the touch of a finger. Wash your hands, but you can just reset things, and that's what I like. All right, I am going to go into our balm. Everything just fits in one place, and I like that. And I'm putting this on my lips because they are so chapped. So chapped. All right, and then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put this under the eye, and this is just gonna help with texture under my eyes. So if you use traditional concealer like Tarte, NARS, NYX, I'm trying to think of the other popular ones, they can have that crepey, thinning look. And you can love your concealer, but if you want to fix that crepey look that almost looks like it's separating, try using our balm under it. I have before and it changed. I've done the comparison. Tarte doesn't have movability. It starts to set, and you can just test that out by putting it on your face. You want makeup with movability if your skin is changing and maturing. I'm 45. My skin is not what it was. I don't think I have bad skin, but it's not what it was in my 20s. And so expecting my makeup to do what it did for me then is ridiculous. And so if you still want to use your tried and true favorite Tarte, you can add things to it to make it better. Try a balm. And you don't have to necessarily use Saint. Honest Company has a really good one. That's what I used to use before Saint was around. Aquaphor is a good product to use under your eyes, but you want to have that goopiness because it's going to mix with the product, and it's going to make it look better. It's going to almost make it look like a cream. All right. I'm going to go in with some correcting. I'm going to use a blush color. This is Frenchie. It is my favorite. And I'm going to put that under my eye here. I'm going to use 2 products today because I have 2 products that I've been really loving under my eyes. And one of them is Frenchie, and it just takes that darkness and neutralizes it down. A lot of people like using bronzer to do this. I found bronzer to just be too dark for me, and that's why I don't do that. But the other product that I am looking for, I was just using this the other day, and I do like it a lot. Where did I put it? It is by Beauty Society. Ah, there it is. It's called Lighten Up. So I'm using the color Fair Light, and it's called Lighten Up, and it is a cream. Let's see, I have some people say hi to. Gillian, hello. Sandy, hello. Deb, hello. So this is Fair Light, and it is a cream. I'm going to use a buff brush, which is what I typically use with traditional foundations, and I'm just going to tap into it. And this one is really light, and I'm just going to go under my eye, and I'm just going to go where there's darkness and use this as a different kind of corrector. I do really like this one. I've actually been reaching for it a lot, but I do like the convenience of something in my palette too. So this is going to give you 2 things. You can go with Frenchie, which is this side, or you can get Lighten Up. I like this one. I do believe it's skincare infused. But it is an under eye brightener. I like it as a corrector. It's not, to me, a standalone product. I want to do this. And I bring mine down my smile line here. I don't do that with Frenchie. I'm going to do that with my brightener. Anyways, if you're looking for a good under eye product and maybe Frenchie doesn't check your box, Lighten Up. They have multiple shades. I should see. Biscuits. Having my computer's handy, but it also sucks up a lot of time. We all know my Mondays are long, and it's because, well, they're long. All right, let's look up Lighten Up. Bing, bang, boom. $36 for this. A little goes a long way. I've been using this product quite a bit, and I really haven't even dented into it. A little goes a long way. I do think this has a really good pigment to it that gives you what you want. And I don't think it's a standalone color. They have 4 shades. Fair Light, which is the lightest, medium, medium dark, and dark. And so you can go and take a look at it. They have swatches for you to see. I like Fair Light on me a lot. I think anything higher than that, if you're close to my skin tone, anything darker is too dark, okay? You have really dark under eyes and use the medium shade. Okay. It's the best. Do you have the Lighten Up? Yeah, it really just depends on skin tone. I haven't played with them enough, but I do love this product. Fair Light, it's a soft pink. It tells you counters blue and purple tones and then brightens. And I do have a blue purple tone. All right, so let's see what it says about medium. Since you use medium, it's a peachy shade, and it brightens and neutralizes cool tones. It doesn't say like purples and stuff like the other one. And then medium dark, it's for more tanned skin tones. I bet Alice would really be able, I know Alice. I bet Alice, you use it? That's what I want to know. All right, so let's get in and do the face. So I've corrected, I've done all the things. I have 2 different under eye looks. They're gonna look pretty much the same at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and just say they will look the same at the end. And I'm gonna do light coverage. And I'm going to be using my main shade, which is Athens. I'm going to be using White Peach as my brightener, which is like your concealer. So it's a little bit lighter. I always keep my main and my brightening side by side because they're close. So if I move them to, say, a different layer, sometimes you can make it, it's hard to see. All right. And I'm going to use my shape brush because it comes with that collection and it's really good. And so I'm just going to go and I'm going to tap in. You never really want to sweep in. These are really creamy. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to balance the lower part of my face with a light hand. I'm not using a lot of product and I'm just smoothing this out. And then I'm going to go over my scarring. I stipple over my scarring because I have that corrector and it just gives me a really nice balance. So I went from this to this. And this is the only area I need to put this shade. You don't need to be turning your whole face one color. Our face isn't one color. My forehead is a bit darker than the base of my face. So this color here wouldn't really work for up here. It would look too light and it would wash me out. My nose darker than this part of my face. It would, if I turned my nose and my forehead and my under eyes this color, it would wash me out. I don't need to do that because everything with Saint is foundational coverage. My contour, my bronzer, my blush is foundation. There's a lot of makeups out there that just don't have 80% pigmentation that can give you that, okay? They're gonna be about, other creams are about 40% pigmentation. Traditional concealers and foundations are 18%. And so you're not getting as much coverage, which is why you're needing to put more makeup on. And so full coverage with traditional makeup, that's why people over apply creams, especially Saint, is because they're used to needing that much makeup, but you don't need that much makeup. All right, so we're just gonna go and we're just gonna lightly balance down here, bringing it up and around, stipple over. You really don't wanna compromise that corrector you put on, so stippling over it is gonna be your best bet. Bring things down your neck. Your neck is not the same color as your face is. It's just gonna help with some balance. And that's all that I need for my main shade because I'm gonna be clicking in other colors, which are gonna give me the balance that I want, okay? So I get to put things on based off of the tones. My contour areas are gonna have foundational coverage, but they're contoured, so I get balance and I get dimension, and it's not stacking and building more product on top, which then creates texture. It's either gonna be a cream makeup texture or a too much on my texture. We all know the textures that are created with too much makeup. All right, I'm gonna switch to the small end and I'm gonna go into this white peach color and I'm gonna go right where this shine is and I'm gonna put this color on because it's too light for my skin and it's gonna give me coverage, but it's gonna look like reflecting light, which is gonna help with that dimension I was talking about. Bringing it down, I'm gonna skip my nose for just a minute. I'm gonna itch. I'm gonna grab a little more and we're just gonna hit the Cupid's bow and then right here. And those pencils, I'm so mad about. I'm gonna go on their page and say, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna save my under eyes for last because it works with my blush a little bit. All right, we're gonna go to this end over here and I'm gonna go into Stone. I like Stone for the winter. Once I hit Athens and I'm not my summer shade anymore, I go to a lighter contour. Stone, it has a touch of warmth to it. So we're just gonna grab that right here and we're gonna put that right here where I already have dark tones. This is my contour and then bridge it across my forehead, bring it down the temple. And Stone, I always pick contours that are gonna work with my hyperpigmentation. And so we're just gonna bring that around, take it to that small end. I'm so itchy. And we're gonna, I think it might be that pencil, but we're gonna be swirling this around and just bridging them together. So now I have dimension and balance and coverage. I don't need a lot of coverage on my forehead though. All right, and my skin still looks like skin. No filters. I hate filters. They make me mad. Filters are good for some things. They're fun. I like them. but not when you're showcasing makeup. If you're showing makeup, you shouldn't be using a filter. All right, going back into stone, and I'm gonna go above this shadow, and we're just going to have a light deepening. Darkness pulls in, lightness pulls out, so we're just going to structure the cheekbone there. You see that? Just slimmed things down a little bit. Little bit. Shouldn't be crazy dramatic. You should still look like yourself in your makeup. So that when somebody says, oh, you look nice, and you say, thanks, it's makeup, they'll be like, is it though? And then it is. At least that's what I think. I think the structure of my face is different because of my makeup, not necessarily the structure of my face. All right, I'm gonna use my finger here. I like using my finger for my nose. And I have my nose looks a little bit red. It is a little bit red. And so using stone will counter that. So I'm just gonna push this on the top side and then follow that natural shadow to my brow. I'll do my brows last because I always mess them up when I'm contouring. And then top side, pushing it up towards that brow and then squaring it off. You just get a little more control sometimes when you're using your finger. And then I'm gonna just blend it around. I'm gonna pinch this small end. We're gonna go into that brightening shade. And I'm gonna go right up the middle here. And then we just use our finger to cleanly sweep it straight up and down. Like that. All right, you can take whatever is left, and I go right here, and this just helps brighten things up in your smile lines and around your nose, cleans up the nose area. Super simple. Makeup, one, should be simple. It should be easy, and you should still feel and look like yourself. And so finding something that has a high pigment keeps you looking like yourself, but with a little more confidence. That's the only thing makeup does, is it makes us feel more confident. I'm not looking to make somebody feel good looking at me, despite what men think. I'm doing it because it makes me my best self, because when mama ain't happy, ain't no one happy, right? All right, so we're gonna go into bronzer. This is the color Xanadu. This has a touch of shimmer, and I find it to be a little more cool toned than the Bella bronzer, which I like in the winter. All right, so we're gonna grab a little bit, and we're just gonna put some right here around our eye. This is the only place I put this, and this just adds a touch of warmth. I like a little warm. I don't like a lot of cool tones. So I just put this around, and this is all just gonna blend into that contour a little bit, but I'm not letting it take over my whole face. It's just an accent. Skip it, keep it, do whatever you want. Okay, it's your makeup, it's your face, do what you want with it. If you want, you can get this brush in the collection with a bronzer too and do exactly what I'm doing now, but with this brush, if say you don't need setting powder, go get the bronzer collection with this brush. I plan to go back through all the brushes and do my whole face with one brush, and I'm gonna highlight each brush. All right, we're gonna go into blush. I'm gonna use two colors because of that scarring spot that I have. You can see it right here just a little bit, and that bothers me. So I'm gonna take this Frenchy color I used under my eye. I'm gonna go right over that scarring, right there. All right, same thing over here, right over the scarring, right there. And I like it because it's a light neutral color. And then I'm gonna go into Hollywood. I've been really liking Hollywood as my blush. I'm gonna pop that up here. Pinks are pretty. And Hollywood is a really light, non-committal pink. It's not super bold. All right, we're gonna take that same brush, and I'm just gonna go into that pink. I'm gonna smile, and then I'm gonna bring it down to that Frenchy and up. All right. There we go. Super simple. And then you blend it down into that peach shade, and it will help neutralize the scarring that's underneath. And so you can pick your colors and just base it off of the tones you're working with, because you should be considering your skin and its tones and its stuff when you're picking out your makeup, because you can want a super bright, bold pink, but if you have acne scarring on your cheeks, if you have hyperpigmentation, it's gonna grab it and pull it through. So you can still use those things. It's kind of like oily skin. I can still do the things. There's just a few things I have to do extra for it, like setting powder. If you have things going on your face, but you still really like those bold colors, you can absolutely use them. You just might need a tool to go with them. That's just my opinion on playing with makeup. All right, I'm going to grab whatever's on this brush, which is bronzer, which is blush, and I'm just going to get my neck to bridge it together. Easy peasy. Now we can go and do the under eyes. I'm going to use the small end of this brush. We're going to go into that white peach color. And I'm going to go right here where this natural shine is, because this is a light shade. And I'm going to go up my orbital bone. And I'm staying outside of this trough. I'm going to pinch it and I'm going to bring it up into that inner corner. And I'm just stippling this. All right, going into that dark area here to correct and cover. And then I'm blending these together, and then I can go and I can bring it to my under eye area. And you get that coverage. And it works. Using that stippling keeps that Frenchy color correcting there. Going into my smile line here for lift to help camouflage it. Because again, I'm 45. So anything I'm doing to combat something. And as you mature, things fall, and we're adding lift. So everything we do is in an upward motion. Our blush, our contour, our under eye corrector goes up. Eyeshadow, winged eyeliner. Doesn't look that far off from this, so we're going to grab a little bit more. Same thing over here. We're going to go into that natural shine area. We're going to go up that orbital bone, and I tap as I need. Pinch it, bring it up into that inner corner where that extra darkness is. Blending it together, going into that smile line, then going into that under eye soft tissue. The soft tissue is a place where you're going to get your texture, because it's a high texture area. There's nothing holding it right here. It's like a hammock. And so you want to have the least amount of product there as possible, because it's such a soft, delicate tissue area. Pick what you want. My thing is this was $36, and I do love it. But I used Frenchy on my under eye, on my cheeks, and I can put it on my lips. It's $16, which is why I pick the things that I pick. But this does have skincare infused in it, and that's awfully nice, especially when you're maturing. Okay, we're gonna put this on. Now I'm gonna spray my face. I usually use Blue Marble, but I'm out, and I'm waiting for Santa to deliver it because they put it on sale for $3 basically, under $3 savings. I'm like, that was disappointing, but I'm gonna use Benefit Professionals. I like it because it works with my oily skin and sealing my makeup, and it has a good mister. All right, so you get it good and damp. Okay, then we're gonna go in to that setting powder. I use two because I use the heck out of it. And I'm gonna use that brush I've been using, putting it on, and I'm gonna start where my lowest texture is, which is over here. And then I bring it across the top of the forehead while it's still damp. And then I bring it to my high texture areas. All right, going in again. We're gonna go down. Don't forget the phone zone. All right, just came back from school. Okay. There we go. Gabriella, hello. Boom. Setting it, but because it has that sheen to it, it still looks like your skin. Okay? And if you ever feel like your makeup is creasing and you're using a cream, it has that movability. You can reset it with your finger. That doesn't mean you need to go get more product. All right? But applying your powder when your face is still damp is going to help with that powder texture. Powder will always change the consistency of your makeup. But if you're putting it on while the face is still somewhat damp, it does reduce that powder texture, and it lets them work together. Okay, I'm gonna pop on my brows because they make a difference. I like a good structured brow. I'm gonna use the line brush. It has the spoolie to put my hairs in place so I can kind of see where I need to go, because if you look right here, I don't have a lot of definition in this bottom area. It's just a weird upside down triangle, and then I don't have a lot out here, so I need to add a bit of structure. I'm going to go into Oak, which is the color I used on my eyes, and we're going to start at this bottom corner, and we're just going to structure it out by following the natural line right there. Okay, so we just grab that Oak, and then we're going to square it off right here. And then you just use little hair flicks to give it a natural brow. And it shouldn't look crazy. I've tried using contour. It's not enough. Not enough for me. And then I'm going to follow this natural arch to the tail and extend it. Same thing on the top, going to this about quarter of the way in. I'm gonna fill in this spotty arch, and then I'm gonna follow it to that tail. And then just fill it in, blending from that top line and that bottom line. And then you end up with a nice brow that used to be there. Using your spoolie, just comb it all together, pick up excess shadow, and that's it. That's it. It shouldn't be wildly different, but it shouldn't be hard lined on unless that's a style you like. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. Some people really like that style. I really like this style. I don't think my brows look bad. I just like this more. I've always liked other makeups. I like Saint makeup more. All right, so we're gonna go right here and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna follow this natural line and extend it using that oak color that's also on my eyes, and then square it up right here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna make this arch extend and make my brow look a little bit longer. Quarter of the way in, we're gonna just structure that arch a bit more. Make it look less bald. Got a bald spot on the brow. And then we just start blending from that bottom line and that top line. Use that spoolie to comb it out. Your brow structure can already be there. You just gotta get a mirror up in it and take a look at it. All right, so that's my face. We're gonna do what I was hoping this pencil would do. So if you see this Kiva pencil, which might pop up because I'm saying it, it may pop up on your feed. But one, let's just admire the eyeshadow. It's a pretty little look here, okay? It is Cowboy, it is Oak, and it is Angel's Landing. And I'm gonna show how I can punch it up once my lips are on. But if you've seen this clear pencil for lip plumping, do not buy it. I am so frustrated with the people out there that are pushing this and nothing is happening. I also have a hard time when I see people talking about lip plumping methods that clearly have their lips plumped. I'm not saying it's wrong, but don't tell me how to plump my lips when you've been injecting them. I'm gonna show you how to fill your lips. My lips have no filler in them. I've done a lip flip. I think lip flips are really fun and really great if you have an event. If you're gonna be in a wedding, I totally recommend it, because all it does is that when you smile and your lip tucks in, it just relaxes that muscle, makes it not flip in. That's all it does. It doesn't make your lips look fuller at all. Okay, let's see. We're gonna do lip contouring to get a fuller look, because I think that's the way to go. I'm gonna use a multitasker brush and I'm gonna clean it because it's a bit gunky. And I love this brush for lips. It does so many things. Okay, so I'm using our spray for cleaning. This stuff is awesome. It conditions, it cleans, it dries. It's ready to use. Now I am again 45, and as you mature, there's a few things. Your ears and your nose keep growing, and then your lips shrivel in like little raisins, I guess. We're gonna take that contour that's in here. I'm using Stone. We're gonna put this on the brush, and we are gonna outer line. So remember, if you were here at the beginning, you saw that I outer lined down here. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna work with the middle of the lips, and you are gonna add contour here. Instantly makes your lips look a little fuller. Just buff it out with your finger, okay? Now we're gonna take that same, and we're gonna go outside of the lips up here with a darker shade. You're gonna follow that structure of your lips, just like that. Just make a little Gomez Adams, okay? And that gives you a little bit of structure, which can make them look fuller, and it makes it look like you have a bit of a curl, okay? There's a few things we get to learn to do with products where you don't have to go and inject your face. Then we're gonna go to our brightening highlight, okay? We're gonna go into that brightening highlight, and we're gonna add lightness right here and right here. And it goes outside of that contour area, okay? And you're just gonna tap it out, okay? Give everything a nice little tap. And all we're doing is working on the outside of our lips to make the inside of our lips look fuller, look structured, okay? And then I like a neutral lip, so I'm gonna keep everything super crazy neutral. I'm gonna go into my bronzer. I'm gonna grab that multitasker brush. We're gonna use the small end. I'm gonna go in, and now I'm gonna line my lips. I'm not gonna outer line my lips. I'm gonna line my lips. And this is gonna give my mature lips a fuller look. This works for any, I think lip liner helps make fuller lips. So if you're not a lip liner person, become one. Okay, so we're gonna line our lips. We're gonna hug the edge without going outside. Your lips have their own texture. So when you line your lips outside of that, you can tell. So line your lip to the edge, especially the upper lip. All right, just to the edge, not outside, just like that. Okay, and it's gonna give you that look of a nice full lip. I like mine to look a little on the bold side. Okay, then we're gonna follow the inner lip line. I have my lip line here, and then I have an inner lip line. Now, if you have maturing lips, go get a mirror, take a look at it, go to that inner lip line, and then meet your lip. This is gonna give you that lift. I keep talking about it. The older you get, things fall, so you're gonna add lift where you can. That comes with lip liner. Go to that inner lip line, and then draw it down to your lip. And then line. This gives that lip that structure. And now we're gonna go in, and I'm gonna use Hollywood that was on my cheeks, and we're just gonna pop that on to our lips. It's makeup, not magic. If you think you're gonna end up with Bratz doll lips using contour, you're not. But having a structured lip is gonna make them look fuller, because a lot of us get lost in the coloring, the color loss you get with maturity. You lose color in your lips the more mature you get. Just the nature of the beast. And so structuring your lips with a good lip liner that you like. I like a dense color, I like a dense lip liner. I like something that has a tone to it, because it's gonna show that structure of the lip. If you pick something that's same as your lip and your skin color, you're gonna lose that structure. So use something a little bit darker, but it's gonna give you structure, which is gonna make them look fuller. And you don't have to spend a bunch of money injecting your lips and getting an unnatural, and plus it hurts, and then it migrates, and then you've gotta go get it dissolved just to get, it's just, think of, I mean, we're ladies here, I mean, we should be. How do I want to say this without it sounding so inappropriate? We have babies, and we feed the babies, and then the food goes away. Don't you think that's kind of similar to filling up lips and then getting rid of it? And then we're just gonna have, like, you know, Ren lips from Ren and Stimpy. So I won't fill my lips because I don't want to deflate them and end up with sad saggies on my face. So that's why. But adding structure with shadowing, with brightening, and with lip liner, and putting a tone back on, you don't have to have a bold color to have a full lip. You just need structure to your lip, and that comes with the lip liner. That can come with the, if you don't like the contouring, don't. That comes with the lip liner on your lip. On your lip. Going outside of your lip, I want my lips to look just naturally structured, because it looks fuller when they're naturally structured. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then you can go and you can add any doggone thing you want. My favorite thing to add is either a lip oil. I love chai. That one is one of my favorites because it has a tone to it. I'm not a big fan of, let's see, are these the same? No, these are not the same, and they look the same. So this right here is marshmallow. Smells amazing. And this right here is birthday cake, and it has a hue to it. I like these, but if you're wanting fuller lips, you want something with a tone, and you can get that with chai. Always available. If you want to use points, you can go and get, what is this? Sprinkles. This one leaves a really nice natural flushness. I keep one in my car on my way to swim. All right, but then you have this bad boy right here. This is Diamonds Are Forever, and it is beautiful. And you can just add that to anything, and it just jumps it up a notch. And then look at how pretty that is. And then it highlights that Cupid's bow, which is really pretty. And that's it. But to me, if you want fuller lips, you can have neutral, you can have medium, and you can have deep colors. Just structure them and they'll look fuller and they'll look naturally fuller, and they won't look like clown lips because you're not outlining outside of your lips. Instead of outlining outside of your lips, make that outline a shadow and then line the lip. Does that make sense? I really need to do my own video on the whole just lips. But I'm gonna tell you this was a bunch of BS and I spent my own money on it and I thought it was garbage. So don't get it. I'm so disappointed. I really thought this was gonna, the people that do it did a good job. They sold me. But I'm telling you, don't. And I'm almost tempted to make a video to say don't get it, because I don't know. I want to know that when I'm spending my money, it's good. I don't want to, Do I make its own video for don't buy Kiva, or however you say it. Anyways, that's my Monday Live. I'm going to go pick up my groceries now and do all of my chores, but but my hair looks better with makeup on, and my eyeshadow is, I think, a really beautiful everyday look. If you wanted to jazz it up, that balm I use under my eyes and on my lips, if you tap that on your eyes, this will not cause crazy. You tap that on the eyes. I see a car pulling up. I wonder what that is. And then I can go into that Angel's Landing color. And I'm going to top it on top of it, and look at that. Date Night Glow. And it just jazzes it up. But this is such a pretty color. Such a pretty color. Okay, my time has expired. My dog is barking. A car has pulled up. And I've got groceries waiting to be picked up. I don't know if you guys could hear all the wind, but we've got massive wind today. But my hair. Is this coming back? Is this a coming back look? Please, I hope it is. I don't know. There's no such thing as day 2 hair when you have... Oh, here's the other thing. Somebody told me I'm not allowed to call this kinky. Kinky curls? Apparently that's reserved for other hair types, but this isn't curly. This is kinky, right? I get some ringlets down here, but I can call it kinky, right? All right, that's it. That's my live. Let me know if you have any questions. Message me. Let's do a color match. Let's talk about your makeup and have a great day.